So today we're talking about Fire Tonic, Dragon Fire Winter Tonic. Maybe some of you have heard of it. It is a traditional herbalist kind of herbal mix that generally is used in the cold months. So during fall, winter, and it's something that can be used to boost the immune system, increase circulation, and just be an overall immune support. So it's really, really great. Good morning, they call me Mr. Harrington. So it's really great for you to be able to use on a daily basis and to be able to use as a pick-me-up if you are feeling down or you have a cold or something like that. So the recipe for Dragon Fire Winter Tonic, as I learned it, or Fire Tonic, if you happen to look it up online, there's several renditions to be able to do this wonderfully boosting immune support. And so, okay, perfect. So some people can hear me. So included in this recipe is I have some garlic and I use organic. So these are all herbs that you can find in your local grocery store or in your health food store, wherever you choose to shop. And it's garlic, ginger, horseradish. I kind of peeled this one. Here's it unpeeled. Onion. I use organic onion. And then you're going to want to add in some red pepper. I love Trader Joe's, so shout out to Trader Joe's. And then for the base, you're going to use organic apple cider vinegar. You want to make sure that it has the mother in it. I don't know if you can see on the bottom of this one. It has what looks like sediment. But basically the mother is the portion of the apple cider vinegar that has all the enzymes and good stuff in it. So sometimes you can get apple cider vinegar that has been pasteurized, which means all of that, the enzymes and the healthy things that you're getting from the apple cider vinegar has been taken out. So for those of you who have just joined, I'm going to show you how to make Dragon Fire Winter Tonic, which when you're sick in the winter months, you can take a couple shots of these and it will help boost your immune response. Or you can take it on an everyday basis as just a warming tonic to improve circulation and boost your immune response throughout the winter months. I am a cold person. Generally speaking, my hands and my feet get really cold. So this is something that I use to help boost just that warming sensation throughout the day. And it's good if whether it's cold, flu, you're just starting to feel off or sick, because sometimes I know if we work really hard, we get into those moments where we feel if we don't lay down or take care of ourselves, we're going to get sicker than we actually are. So this is really, really great for that. I will say this is not a video in knife skills, so do not do what I do in terms of cutting your herbs. If you have better knife skills than me, kudos to you. But let's just get into it. So I already have my onion cut up and I'm using a glass jar. Whenever you are making your herbal preparations, you want to make sure that you do use glass, just because whether you're using alcohol, apple cider vinegar, or even water as a menstruum, which is the liquid that extracts the properties, you want to make sure that you're not extracting anything from the actual bottle. So don't use plastic or anything else that can leach into whatever medicine that you're making. So I have the glass and I already sterilized it with boiling hot water. So we're good to go. I'm just going to stick my onion in, and this can be like roughly chopped. It doesn't have to be little tiny pieces, but you just want to go ahead and collect all of your onion. This is about 1 onion in this jar, and you can make as little or as much as you want. Generally, you kind of want to add equal proportions of onion, ginger, and horseradish, and garlic as you see fit. And then at the very end, we'll talk about adding the red pepper and the apple cider vinegar. So I kind of did some pre-prep just because I know you guys don't want to sit there on your Saturday morning and watch me chop herb. So you can see it's already getting pretty full. So I'm just going to go ahead and chop up pieces of my horseradish, which horseradish is very fibrous and kind of hard to cut through. So I actually have to use a little elbow grease this morning. And then I probably could use a better knife for this, so don't judge me. Okay. And if you have ever eaten sushi, that green stuff on the side, the wasabi, that's really, really hot and pungent, that is made from horseradish. So all of this stuff is super invigorating. I love it. And in traditional Chinese medicine, the lungs are kind of the organ that you want to concentrate on for the winter months. Just, because sometimes we get a lot of lung infections and things like that. So being able to have things like horseradish, which energetically, because it is white, and then also with the garlic and onion, they help support that energetic respiration throughout those months. So this is pretty cool. As you see, it's already packed in. I'm gonna take a little bit of onion out. And the great thing about this is you don't have to have fancy measurements. You don't have to be able to say, okay, we need 2 grams of this, 5 grams of that. There are herbal preparations where you do need to be that specific. This is not one of them, which makes me happy because I don't love always having to do all of those measurements. So I'm going to grab my smaller knife. Because even though you want chunks, you don't have to like mince it or anything like that. You do want to cover as much surface area as you can of the different herbs that you're using. And so for the garlic, because it is already tiny, I just chop it up a little bit more, like so. Just so that more of the apple cider vinegar can get to it and cover it and extract the medicine that way. Okay, so let's take a look. And what you want to do, you do want to fill it all the way up to the brim, as high as you can get it. So now I'm just going to go back and add in a bit more of my horseradish. Top it off with some onion. All right, here we go. So, and as this sits, because this isn't something that you're gonna take immediately right away, you're actually gonna let this sit for about 4 to 8 weeks. And you wanna put it kind of somewhere where it's not in a lot of sun. So generally like on a laundry room shelf or something like that. And you wanna check it throughout the 4 to 6 weeks. And you're gonna wanna shake it, look at it. If you need to top it off with more liquid, you can. And then you'll be able to access the herbs a little bit more easily because as they get saturated, they start to kind of wilt a little bit and there'll be more space to actually shake it. So let's talk about the red pepper. You can use cayenne pepper, whatever ground red pepper that you like or enjoy, whatever works for you. This is very strong stuff if you've never cooked with red pepper or cayenne. And it adds a nice warming kick to everything. Generally for something this size, I would probably use like 1/8 of a teaspoon to maybe 1/4. If you like it nice and warm, you can use however much you like. But for me, with all the other warming herbs in this concoction, more red pepper would actually be too much. So I'm just gonna get a tiny measuring spoon. You can also shake it in if you want, just like a couple shakes if you don't want an actual specific amount. Okay, so I can't find my exact 1/8 teaspoon, so I'm just gonna use the 1/4 and do half of it. So before I add that in though, I do want to put in my apple cider vinegar and top it off. So we're just gonna pour. And actually, I'm gonna give it a nice shake so we can get some of the mother in there. way to the top. And now we're gonna add a little bit of our red pepper. So this is even less than an eighth. This is probably like between 1/8 and 1/16. I don't know if you all can see that, but there you go. So toss that in. And then you're gonna get your top and we're gonna place it on, screw it on really tight. And you're gonna give it a shake. Okay. And so if you're looking for glass containers to use for this, I repurpose everything. Most condiments, juices come in glass containers. And so what I'll do is I'll repurpose it and salvage it. So I have like some glass containers that are from, like this is an old juice bottle. You wash it out, you boil hot water, you sterilize it, pour it all the way to the top, let it sit for like 5 minutes, and then dump it out. And it's a repurposed bottle to use for whatever you want, which is a great way so you don't have to always go out and buy a whole bunch of, I forget what you call them, but like the canning bottles. You can use those if you want because those aren't very expensive, but you know, I like to try to be sustainable and repurpose things. So now that you have your mix, this wonderful bottle of medicine, I will say if you do have a metal top like this, you're going to want to use a barrier between your medicine and the actual lid because sometimes metal will corrode. So what you do is you just get some parchment paper and you just tear off a bit, cover the portion that's going to be in contact before you put the lid on, and then you just screw the lid on. Another important piece is whenever you're making your medicines, you always want to label. So I use nothing fancy. I just grab a sticky note, cut it into a small square, and then place it on the lid. And you want to have the date that you started bottling your medicine along with what's in it. And then you can always, when you come back, you know what you have. Because I have a whole dispensary in the laundry room of several different herbs that are in the process of either sitting there, marinating, waiting for me to strain it out and pour it in another bottle, dried herbs, that kind of thing. And so after 2 or 3, you may be fine without labeling, but you always want to get in the habit of knowing what exactly you have in your dispensary, how long it's been there. Because again, after 4 to 6 weeks, you're going to check this, and then you're going to get a strainer, something like this, nothing too fancy, and you want to strain the medicine out, and then you're going to keep it in a separate container, and then you can dump out the leftovers, so the leftover ginger, the leftover horseradish, and you can get rid of that because everything that you've needed has been extracted out of it. So that is the process of making a very basic fire tonic that is great for the winter months to help boost your immune system. It's good for flus and colds. It's good on an everyday basis for a warming kind of tonic if you are a cold person. And all these different herbs have several different properties, but generally they improve circulation. They are antimicrobial, so that means antifungal, antibacterial, antiparasitic, all those wonderful things. And then energetically, it's really good for the organs that help with respiration during the fall, winter months when we kind of, start to see pneumonia and things like that. So just wanted to share this recipe with you guys. If you want to be adventurous, there's several different recipes online that have different renditions of this. It may include other herbs like echinacea or spilanthes or elderberry or just totally different renditions. Maybe I'll come up with a recipe for someone who is a warm constitution and doesn't need super warming herbs. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you all have a wonderful Saturday. If you have any questions or have some topics that we can talk about, feel free to send me a DM or a message. I will see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. This is happening all October long. So thank you so much and have a great Saturday. Bye.